Alright, YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Zach, the Celtics guy. I'm back with another video and another issue that I kind of wanted to discuss today, and it's another thing that's kind of sort of been on my mind because I've done some research about it here, there, and everywhere, and I figured that I would discuss it because it's an issue that does revolve around the issue of gay rights, and me being a gay male myself, I figured that I would kind of bring the attention of it because of how ridiculous it was and still is and always will be, and just how laughable it is, because I think it's just completely laughable. So let me dive back a little bit into a little bit of history. Now, there was an issue back during the Bush administration where you had an issue of where there was a thing called the Federal Marriage Amendment Act, and obviously the chances of something like that ever passing in the U.S. is very slim. It appeared that, like, it got defeated several times. It got defeated several times. It was first passed in 2002, 2003, 2004, 2006, and then several other times too. I think 2008, 2013, the last time it ever was attempted was in 2015 and got absolutely defeated. And people are still, and I've seen all these articles from, like, these evangelical, fucking windbags and nutbags. You got all these fucking people that are still advocating for the Federal Marriage Amendment Act to this day. Now, technically, the Federal Marriage Amendment basically would have banned gay marriage in every part of the damn country. It's a thing that would prevent states from deciding on gay marriage ever being legalized in the U.S. That's basically what it would do. It would say, like, oh, marriage is between a man and a woman in the Constitution, and it would prevent any states from ever legalizing gay marriage, and it would basically do that. So it would be horrific for gay people, it would be horrific for minorities, it would be horrific for unmarried couples, it'd be horrific for every single fucking person in this damn country. But now, in order for a constitutional amendment to be passed, I think it needs to be passed it needs to go get passed in the Senate, then the House of Representatives, and then if it's a constitutional amendment, it needs to be ratified by 3/4 of the states. Now, if a federal marriage amendment, a gay marriage nationwide ban ever went up against 3/4 of the states, you can kind of see all these you could see minorities like gay people like myself, you would see liberals, you'd see moderates, you'd see all sorts of people, all ginormous chunks of the American population that would vote against this. And it's just laughable, in my opinion, like a federal marriage amendment. It's the fucking dumbest thing imaginable. And the reason it never passed was because it was simply stupid. Like it's as simple as that. Some people were like, oh, it never passed in the U.S. Yeah, it never got passed because it's fucking stupid. Okay, it never got passed because it's fucking stupid. You have an issue where you're putting these same people that want to ban gay marriage, it's the same argument that people made against interracial marriage. Like this smells so much like the 1950s and 60s. Where people were always saying, like, oh, those damn black people shouldn't marry people of different races, and people should stick to their races. This is no different with gay people, because gay people because gay people should have the right to marry whoever the fuck they want, just like me. It's my fucking choice. I'm an adult. Who I'm marrying, who I decide to marry, and I think a lot of people who watch my channel know who that's going to be at some point in the very near future. Now, who I'm marrying or who someone else marries, I don't give a fuck. And I don't think other people really give a fuck either. You have all these different things, like all these failed politicians that went forth and passed something like this. It's so laughable. It is so laughable it's so laughable that these politicians even tried this many times to ever pass something like this in this country. It is just fucking laughable. It is something that is just so freaking laughable. You gotta love it. Like, it's something that it was just such a joke. Like there were different politicians who passed this fucking Federal Marriage Amendment Act, or tried to get it passed, or all this and that. It was this one woman named Marilyn Musgrove, and then there was another guy who tried to get it passed. I think his name was Tim Huelskamp, and then there was another guy named Roger something. I'm forgetting names. Or some other woman named Vicky Hartzler too was another one. Okay, you got all these failed politicians. You got all these failed politicians that thought that, oh yeah, marriage is such a big issue. Like, oh, it's such a big issue. Like, oh, it's something that it's really something that people are really thinking about. No, it's actually something that only you are thinking about. Marilyn Musgrove, you fucking dumbass, you stupid ass bitch. You're the only one who's thinking about it. Tim Huelskamp, you're the only one who's thinking about it. So, that's my whole thing. So good luck ever trying to pass a Federal Marriage Amendment Act in this country. Now, here's the thing. Even most Republicans were against a Federal Marriage Amendment Act. You know why? Because most Republicans, even the most staunchest anti-gay Republicans, even more moderate Republicans like, people like Mitt Romney or John McCain or whoever, who were against gay marriage, but they always thought, oh yeah, gay marriage should be left up to the states. Or even Ted Cruz, who himself is one of the most unethical, weakest politicians imaginable. I mean, you go ask Texas what that's like, because look at how Texas is doing under that fucker. There's a frigid ice storm in Texas, and he left to go on vacation. Fuck him. But anyway, it just, even someone like Ted Cruz says, yeah, marriage is a question for the states. And, it's an issue, that's an issue for the states. And all this other stupid shit. So say if in a non-existent world, if the Federal Marriage Amendment ever went as far as to go up against the states to get ratified by 3/4 of the states, it would get absolutely crushed by the states. You would see record turnout. You would see people pour out in droves just to vote against it. It will never happen. There will be a snowball's chance in hell of ever seeing a Federal Marriage Amendment Act in the U.S. It's just not going to happen. Like, good luck Marilyn Musgrove or Tim Huelskamp and all these other fucking losers. Good luck trying to do it. You can put it forth. It's not going to happen. It's not going to win. It's as simple as that. It will never happen in this country. I'm telling you right now. So you're just wasting your time trying to pass this in the United States. Even in the early 2000s, when people were more anti-gay than they are in this day and age. Even people who are more anti-gay back then than they are now in this day and age. Even people then never voted for it. It never even passed back then. So if it didn't pass in the 2000s, what makes you think that it's going to pass now? Because the more time goes past, more and more people are opening up, okay? The times are changing, the world is changing, and people are changing along with it. Okay, so anyone who is against gay marriage, people who are supportive of a Federal Marriage Amendment, are not in the majority anymore. They weren't even in the majority back in the early 2000s, 2003, 2004, or whatever. Because it's not an issue that's on people's minds. It's not something that people give a shit about. It's only people will, okay, say if a Federal Marriage Amendment ever was to pass, ever went forth to the states. It would get the evangelical Christian vote. That's about all it would get. It would get the far right vote. That's about all it would get. So 30 to 35% of the country would support a Federal Marriage Amendment, and then you got the rest that would pour out in droves to vote against it. So that's my message to the Republicans. So that's my message to all these Republicans. And by the way, these Republicans who ran and went forth and tried to pass this amendment in their states got defeated years ago. They didn't even win their home states. They got voted out of their home states years ago. Marilyn Musgrove got defeated because there was record turnout in Colorado. I mean, Marilyn Musgrove, she wasn't even talking about the economy. She wasn't talking about jobs and how they should fix things in Colorado. She wasn't even talking about that. All she was doing was just going on saying gay marriage is bad, gay people are bad, and how, oh, the marriage issue is the most important issue in America, and it's the most important issue America is facing in 100 years. You know, she's basically saying the same thing that all these evangelicals are saying. Marilyn Musgrove and Vicky Hartzler and Tim Huelskamp are taking up the same tired, just stale, evangelical, homophobic, bigoted standpoint that the Bushes took up, that Mike Pence took up, that even Trump to some extent took up. But, you know, I would argue that Trump doesn't even believe in that kind of thing. I think Trump is just saying that, which is just saying that on the stage, just so he could kind of appeal to the evangelicals. You're saying the same thing that Ted Cruz is saying and Marco Rubio's saying and all these other failed Republican, you know, Michelle Bachmann, Newt Gingrich, Rick Santorum, all these failed politicians were saying. So that's my message for the Republicans. If you want to keep losing in your home states, go ahead and put forth something like the federal marriage amendment. That is completely homophobic, it's completely against human rights, it's completely against freedom, it's completely tyrannical. Like, my God, you gotta be fucking kidding me. All these Republicans who claim to be for smaller government are some of the biggest big government people around. You got all these people that are just, yeah, they're only for smaller government when it means bitching about the other side, about lower taxes and all that. Yeah, they might be for that. That's about all they're for. Okay? When it comes to smaller government, that's about all they're for. But when it comes to the issue of gay marriage and persecuting gay people and all that, and persecuting blacks and other minorities, then they're the biggest government people you could possibly imagine. Look at Jair Bolsonaro in Brazil. Look at someone like Jair Bolsonaro in Brazil that I've discussed on this channel a few times before. Look at people like all these failed politicians, whether it's in this country, whether it's Vladimir Putin in Russia, whether it's Viktor Orban in Hungary, whether it's the Law and Justice Party in Poland, whether it's any of these fascist neoconservative groups that sit there and do nothing but bitch about the other side and do nothing but bitch about the left and bitch about gay marriage and other minorities. That's all they do. That's all they fucking do. That's all that's on their mind 24 hours a day. So if the neocons want to keep losing, go ahead and pass something like the federal marriage amendment. Go ahead and pass something like that. You can put it forth. It's not going to win. It's just never going to win. You could have, like, these failed politicians are going to get destroyed. Like Marilyn Musgrove barely won in her state in 2003. She barely won, and she got absolutely defeated in 2009. Tim Huelskamp got voted out a few years ago in Kansas, a solid red state. Something that we have not seen in a red state like Kansas in 50, 60 years. A Democrat beating him, or I think it was a more moderate Republican. So yes, so to defeat these people, you need, like I said before, you need a moderate liberal or a moderate conservative. You can't have someone that's too far to the left either. They're not going to win either, because people aren't going to dig to people who are too far left either. You cannot have people too extreme to one side or the other one. They're not going to win. So these people are going to keep losing, and someone like Marilyn Musgrove, who is completely unethical, puts her foot in her mouth every given fucking opportunity, and she can't talk word shit except for bringing up the marriage issue. And then you got people like Jair Bolsonaro in Brazil, who's a complete bigot, a racist, and a war criminal, and a tyrant. Okay, so like when you got all these people that are going to pass these failed laws, you're going to see big chunks of your population pour out in droves just to vote against it, just to vote it down. Okay, it will never happen. That's why Vicky Hartzler also got defeated in Missouri. I don't know if she was in the Senate or the Congress. She was just another wishy-washy neoconservative who was also just a wishy-washy, bigoted neoconservative who was also, comparing gay people to incest, comparing gay marriage to incest and all this other stupid shit. You have all these failed people who do nothing but sit there and bitch about gay marriage 24 hours a day. That's why someone like Tim Huelskamp, who himself is also a complete bigot and a war criminal, you have all these people that do nothing but take up who do nothing but take up neoconservative principles, which are not even true conservative principles. They're just bigoted. They're just bigoted, and they're warmongering, and they're just shilling for getting involved in people's bedrooms, and they're shilling for bombing every single country on the face of the earth. That's all they do. That's all you hear from these politicians. That's all you do. That's all you hear. All you hear, like you hear the other side. You hear them bitch about the other candidates, and they don't have an alternative point of view. Like, that's all they do. Like, that's all Tim Huelskamp was doing. I mean, someone like Tim Huelskamp, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Now, by the way, I have an interesting story about Tim Huelskamp. Tim Huelskamp, I followed his Twitter because I wanted to see what he's really all about, because he's not in politics anymore. So all Tim Huelskamp does nowadays is he just goes on Twitter and just bitches about gay people and socialists, socialism bad, gay marriage bad, and then you got all these other stupid issues that you hear this motherfucker talk about. All he does is he just sits there and he just bitches about how Venezuela bad, Cuba bad, all these countries bad, countries that are none of his fucking business, that are none of the U.S.'s business. And he just says, oh, you know, Cuba bad, socialist bad, and socialism is evil. And then you know what I did? I tweeted to him a couple years ago. I tweeted to him, yeah, well, you want to say socialism is bad? You know what? Well, guess what? Homophobia is bad. Bigotry is bad. That's what's really evil, Mr. Huelskamp. And guess what? Tim Huelskamp blocked me. So I, as a gay male, got blocked by a homophobe. That is a badge I will wear, and I will wear proudly. So if you want to block me, you're only proving my point. You're only proving everyone else's point. That's exactly what someone like Tim Huelskamp is doing. Tim Huelskamp is doing good at what he's doing. Tim Huelskamp never should have been in politics in the first place, because he's just completely unethical and talks about nothing. He doesn't do anything. He did nothing to improve his home state. All he did was just bitch about gay marriage, and all he did was just bitch about how, like, oh, Obama's bad, and Obama's bad, Obama's the worst president in 1,000 years, and Obama's this, that, and the other thing, and He's basically taking a page out of the Jair Bolsonaro playbook, saying the left is the worst thing that's happened to Brazil in our lifetime, and this, that, and the other thing. And then there was a funny quote that this fucking dumbass I remember saying. He said, oh, well, just because Americans support public opinion doesn't mean anything about gay marriage and blah, blah, blah. The majority of Americans don't like Obama, but he's still the president. This was back in 2013 when he said this. Obama is the president and people don't like him. What does that mean? Okay, here's the thing, dumbass. Public opinion does mean things, because if you put up this issue up against the American people, ratifying 3/4 of the states, the majority of Americans are going to pour out in droves just to vote it down. So yes, public opinion does mean something to one extent or another. Now, you can make an argument that some polling is rigged in some cases. Some is more rigged to the left, some is more rigged to the right. I don't really trust polling. I don't trust anything the fucking media says. I don't believe anything politicians say. I don't believe anything the media says. I don't believe in anything. I don't get my fucking information from the mainstream media, because the mainstream media is fucking garbage. The mainstream media on the left and on the right is fucking garbage. I only get my news from independent news outlets. So any information that I get, that I provide on this channel, including that I'm discussing today, none of this was ever covered in the media. Except when Bush, back in 2004, when George W. Bush wanted to ban gay marriage nationwide. Actually, it all started because Massachusetts, where I'm from, was the first state in the U.S. to legalize gay marriage. And that's when all the Republicans were all, gay marriage, we need to protect traditional marriage. And then what? Fast forward 11, 12 years later, the U.S. Supreme Court legalizes gay marriage in all 50 fucking states. Which is going to be the law, at least for the foreseeable future. It will at least be the law in the majority of the country, because even before the nationwide ruling on gay marriage in the Supreme Court, even before that, the majority the majority of states was moving in the favor of gay marriage, and opposition to gay marriage was plummeting steadily. So you have all these failed issues that these politicians are going to put up. It's just never going to happen. So anyone like Jair Bolsonaro trying to ban gay marriage in Brazil, also not going to happen, because Brazil is a socially liberal country overall. You know, I mean, generally speaking, yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, it's got the Portuguese roots to it, and, you know, Portugal, it's got Portuguese roots to it. Portugal's, you know, socially liberal. And I know, you know, because my grandparents, I have grandparents on my dad's side that are from there. I'm part Portuguese, actually. So you got that, and you got all these different, you know, and like the majority of the world, like this opposition to gay marriage is not in the majority anymore. It's just not. So you can put it forth, and you can put it forth. Good luck with it, because it's not going to happen. So, and like what, all these politicians are like, what, in their 60s or 70s or something, like Marilyn Musgrove, and so like they're done. They're at the last stages of their life. They're not going to last. They're all, what are they going to do? Spend the last 10, 20 years of their life bitching about gays? And you know what? You're gays and blacks and Obama and all that. Okay. So here's the bottom line. What's going to happen is, what are people going to remember Tim Huelskamp for? What are people going to remember Vicky Hartzler or Marilyn Musgrove for? Or Roger Winkler. I think that was the other one from Mississippi. I think that was his name. I don't know. You can fact check me on that one. And then there was another one, Paul something from Georgia. Just another one. Just another one of these wishy-washy, neoconservative, bigoted pricks that did nothing but bitch about gay marriage 24/7. And like when Tim Huelskamp was doing this in 2013, Democrats and Republicans were saying to Tim Huelskamp, like, hey, like, this marriage is a waste of time. It's wasting taxpayers' time. Kansas has better things to worry about than worry about gay marriage. The majority of Kansans, I think, the majority of people in Kansas don't care about the issue anymore. We're more worried about the issue of farmers and jobs and bringing jobs and helping the economy. We're not going to sit here and bitch about gay marriage and how Obama's the worst president in 1,000 years. We don't give a shit anymore. Move the fuck on. That's basically what these politicians, even these other politicians, were saying to Tim Huelskamp. We're saying to all these bigoted pricks. You know, like that's what Marilyn Musgrove did. I read an article the other day where Marilyn Musgrove, when she was running in the issue in her rural county, I forget what county in Colorado, people were saying that's all Marilyn Musgrove did. She never talked about the economy. All she did was just talk about gay marriage and how marriage is the biggest issue. We need to protect traditional marriage. Like that's all these fucking people did. Here's the thing. Go take your Xanax, apply for a job at the 700 Club, go suck Pat Robertson's dick, and shut the fuck up. Okay? So, good luck ever trying to pass a federal marriage amendment act. And don't try to come in here with this fucking bullshit, okay? You stupid fucks. That public opinion doesn't mean anything. It does mean something. Because if you have a social issue and you're trying to get the states to vote for it, public opinion does matter, because if you want it to pass, it has to pass by 3/4 of the states. And if you have it up against the states, it's going to get destroyed. It will get absolutely crushed. It will be reassuring that a gay marriage ban in the U.S. is never going to happen. There's a snowball's chance in hell it would ever occur in this country. Okay? So you can go ahead and pass it. It's not going to win. So good luck. Good luck trying to get even 33% of the country to vote for it. Everyone else is going to pour out in droves just to vote against it. Marilyn Musgrove, Vicky Hartzler, Tim Huelskamp, the Bushes, every single one of you. Fuck you. Kiss my fucking ass. So, I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to kind of get that off my chest. I know it's kind of an old issue, but I figured I'd just get on here and discuss it today because it's been on my mind. And one other thing I'm just going to say before I cut it. There's only 2 states in this country where there is more opposition to gay marriage than otherwise. Alabama and Mississippi. Alabama's the only state left where the majority is against gay marriage. And even that is a slim majority, like what, 51%? The rest of the country, more people than otherwise support gay marriage. So like if you put forth a gay marriage ban against the states, it's going to be, it's literally going to be a recreation of the Nixon years where every state votes against it except for Alabama and Mississippi. It's like when Richard Nixon got every state but Massachusetts. It's literally just like, it's like the same thing. It's the same as I always like to say. So yeah, good luck with it. So good luck trying to ever pass it. It will never happen. More and more people are going to support gay marriage. More and more people are supporting gay marriage. People don't care anymore. Okay? My family doesn't care. I know others don't care. My lover's family doesn't care. And he's from Indiana. They're all from Indiana, a state that's also more conservative to some extent than Massachusetts. And even they don't care. Most Republicans that I know don't care about the issue. You people are in the minority. You're the real minority, and you're not going to win anywhere, and you're just wasting your time, and you're wasting your life. You're wasting your time, and you're wasting your life. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to get nowhere with a federal marriage amendment. Kiss my fucking ass. Anyway, all right, I'm going to cut it here. Otherwise, I'm just going to go off on a tangent. I know this is 25 minutes of just me rambling about this issue. But anyway, thank you all for listening, and I'll be back with more issues soon. I'm going to cover some other topics to discuss. I have other topics in the works. I'm going to head off for my walk now and my daily routine of exercise. And I thought I would just get on here and talk about this because it's been on my mind. You know, me as a gay man, obviously if there's issues surrounding gay rights issues, I'm obviously going to discuss it. But I'm not worried about the issue of a gay marriage amendment because it's never going to pass in this damn country. I'm not worried about it. It's never going to happen. And that's pretty much the end of it. I don't support politicians very, 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 very little. I don't care for Joe Biden. I didn't care that much for Obama. I don't care for any of these people. You know why? Because all of these politicians in the two-party system is just as bad as each other. It's a waste of time to vote in favor of them one over the other. Because you're not going to get anywhere with them at the end of the day. You're just not. As the issue that George Carlin said in 1996, I stay home. I don't vote. Fuck them. And I agree. Fuck every single one of them. If only George Carlin was around, boy, would he have topics to discuss of his lifetime. Boy, he would have had it. But may that man rest in peace. And anyway, hope you all are having a great day. Hope everyone's doing well and staying safe and healthy out there. And this is Zach the Celtics guy. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back with more content and more stuff in the works and more, and a whole bunch of stuff in the works. Stay tuned. Zach the Celtics guy is saying thank you for watching, and we'll be back with more soon. Bye for now. Peace out. Have a good day.